Republicans and future Republicans, welcome to a brand new video. With the Democrats' ratings dropped to 20% approval rating, I think it's a glorious day to look in everyone's favorite future presidential candidate for the 2028 election, AOC, and after doing a little bit of research, as you know, I'm a bit of a vacation head right now, bit of vibes. I did some research anyway, because I was waiting while someone was shopping. Not gonna get into details. Shopping gives you plenty of time to do whatever you want on your phone. Turns out AOC is actually, factually, 140% cooked. She's 140% cooked. I've done the math. I've tabulated it, and no, we're literally there. So I wanted to show you a couple of clips of this absolute dumbass. I thought it would be very funny. I thought it would be appreciated because she is going on a giant tour called the Fight Oligarchy Tour. Terrible name. And on the Fight Oligarchy Tour, she has done some truly incredible things and made some fantastic statements that kind of cooked her entire career. Now, we're going to be looking at how much of a piece of shit doo-doo pile she is in right here. To quote Senator Kennedy, AOC is the reason why we have instructions on a shampoo bottle. And I think that the best way to deal with AOC is Operation Let Her Speak. So we're going to be letting her speak, and her own words are the downfall of the Democratic Party. She is cooking herself on the daily basis, and I am here to make fun of the whenever they decide to show up. Then I want to look at a situation that's going on in her district in New York City. She is a congresswoman for New York City. Currently in New York City, there was a migrant gang that invaded subways and the cops left. They ran away from the migrants because, well, that's AOC. That's AOC. Anyway, so she's on her Fight Oligarchy tour, talking about how Trump is Hitler and stuff. And I wanted to show you some of the nuggets that she actually said that is currently kicking her ass.
Thank you all so much. You know, I heard that someone started flying a plane with a banner.
Oh, no. A plane with a banner.
This is Trump country.
Dude, look at the people in the background, by the way. No one is vibing. All right, listen. I know they say they're paid protests, paid people that are going there. They pay them to protest. I'm just saying. But come on, bro. I mean, let's be honest, bro. Paid audience here. Look at them.
It don't look like it today.
Yeah. As she pays for an entire crowd to show up to her rally. This doesn't look like Trump country. Woo!
I don't think this is Trump country. I think this is our country.
Damn. Well, unfortunately, all 7 swing states, majority vote too big to rig. Listen, the facts are against you, lady. It's not easy. This isn't Trump's country. It's our country. Woo! Sorry, that was my retard woo. I make them every once in a while. But now I wanted to start off with that. That one's light and easy. In that same speech, she probably said the worst thing of all time. Yeah, she pulled the Jussie Smollett Trump country. It was pretty great. So, yeah, anywho, I hope you're locked in because what you're about to hear might shake you to your core. Democrats were like, God damn it, our approval rating is too damn high. We gotta lower that shit immediately. Time to defend terrorists.
And we also demand the return of Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
By the way, that guy, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, is actually an MS-13 terrorist that was illegally in America and was deported to his home country of El Salvador. This guy also was caught twice physically abusing his wife. All right? This is Mrs. Believe All Women, Defend Women, Me Too, hashtag Me Too, women are awesome. All right? That's her, right? She epic, I'll believe all women. Unless it is the wife of a terrorist that beat her. In which case, nah. Fight the oligarchy, goddammit. The oligarchy's going crazy. Bring the wife-beater, terrorist, rapists back into the country. This is the face of the Democratic Party. This is who we need.
In El Salvador.
El Salvador. His homeland, by the way. That is literally where the guy is from. That dude is an El Salvador citizen and not an American citizen. He is currently in El Salvador, the country he is a citizen of. She is fighting to get this guy smuggled illegally back into America.
And we tell President Bukele, if we believe in democracy, he must be returned. It is...
What are you talking? He's an El Salvador citizen, a member of a terrorist organization. He is in El Salvador. They arrested him in El Salvador because he is a member of a terrorist organization. What is Bukele supposed to do? Illegally smuggle? Bukele's the president of El Salvador. Is he supposed to fucking smuggle a terrorist into America? Like, what are we even doing? This is like truly the wild retard appeared moment. Well, there is no possible logical framework you could ever come up with to make this even remotely make sense. This is a wife-beater terrorist who's not legal in the United States. He was sent to his home country of El Salvador, and they are keeping him. What is even going on? Bro, if you kidnap fucking guy from El Salvador, then you are trafficking him, brother. What is even going on? They are digging their own grave. Yes, I understand. He is a future illegal immigrant, undocumented Democrat voter. He might even vote twice for Democrats in different states. Who knows? But the point is, they are fighting for the rapists. There are Democrat senators that literally flew to El Salvador to try to fight for this guy. What is happening? Now, the wildest part is, okay, I'll show you this after. It's mind-boggling.
Criminal that he is being held abroad.
It's criminal that he is in prison in his home country where he is a citizen for being a terrorist. And
we demand these things because we do have power in this moment.
Oof.
All of us
Oof.
do.
Oof, she's demanding it because of her power. Well, yeah, let's see if it happens. All right, well, now I guess this is the telltale sign. This will prove if she actually has power. Will she manage to smuggle the terrorist out of an El Salvador prison back into America or not? Bro, can you imagine if she gets nominated as president? She would get absolutely fucking demolished, giga jackhammered by DJ Vance. Holy shit, can you imagine her debating?
Everyday people do.
Yeah, everyday people do. They have power. You know how they have power? When they vote. You know who they voted for? The Donald. The Donald won all 7 swing states every 4 years. Cry out Trump. Yeah, actual delusional moment. The Fight Oligarchy Tour. Now, I saw this comment, and I thought this comment's fucking awesome. I want someone to answer this for me. Why is this one guy the new hero for the left? The case against him is rock solid. Yeah, he's a terrorist. Terrorist, woman beater. He's the whole list. Illegal immigrant, terrorist, woman beater. Bro is literally the trifecta of fucking pieces of shit to deport. Did they just feel like they needed new George Floyd and they think he'll fit the bill? They can't possibly be this stupid. They're nuking what infinitesimal amount of credibility they have left. He's just right. He's just right. That is what they're doing. He is their new leader. Yep, they fought for Mahmoud Khalil first, the Syrian national non-American citizen that was literally out there fighting for the downfall of Western civilization. They deport this guy, everyone loses their shit. It's like they picked the worst heroes, literally. Now, I have to show you this tweet. This tweet is fucking amazing. American hostages in Gaza disguise themselves as MS-13 gang members, so Democrats will fight to bring them home. I'm not gonna lie, this might be one of the most dark humor, hilarious fucking posts I've ever seen in my entire life. The fact that she is going on this Fight Oligarchy tour, fighting for the MS-13 terrorists, but not fighting for the literal American citizens currently at this moment in some fucking tunnel dungeon being starved and tortured under Gaza by terrorists. You have lost the plot. Florge Droid is totally gonna have a comeback. It's gonna be crazy. Now, a little funny news. Bernie Sanders spent $221,000 on private jets amid the Fighting Oligarchy tour. Are we on the same page? Vermont socialists spent millions on private jet travels. Dog. Homies. Broskies. Are we on the same page? Have we lost the plot completely? $221,000 to fight oligarchy? You are the oligarchy. You and George Soros and all those other fucking rich assholes and all the goddamn secret agents at the freaking pharmaceutical companies that push people to get COVID vaccines. Dude, that's the oligarchy. They're rich. They're powerful. Dude, they've been fucking killing it. They had one wild post about Harvard. Hold on. Fuck. I'm not gonna find it. Trump agrees to bring Garcia home if El Salvador will keep Cory Booker. True. Incredibly based. We love to see that. Yeah. President Biden apologized for recent gaffe. I like all races, even the bad ones. Anyway, moving on. The point is, liberal hive mind made a little video talking about the downfall of AOC, and I support it. I support AOC's downfall because, honestly, and I mean this with love, she's a retard. With all due respect, she's a retard, and we will continue to make fun of retards on this channel. It's what we do. Subscribe for more retards being retarded. This time, AOC, 140% fucked. Let's see. Let's earn that 140%.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left.
All right, let's see.
It's funny how these Democrat narratives just can't survive. They can't live when they're crafted in a chamber of mistruth and delusion.
Listen, I've been on like vacation. I haven't really been paying attention, but every time I open the news, it just gets me so excited that there's another new retard dropped. And whenever AOC is the retard of the week, it makes me so happy. I will continue the AOC is retarded franchise. Don't worry. I'm gonna make a whole ass playlist for the retarded AOC moments, because I feel like she is like truly the queen of cringe.
Well, I guess what do you expect? They're bound to hastily implode.
What do you mean? It's the oligarchy that's imploding. What do you mean? We're not imploding. We're fighting for democracy. We're fighting against the people that won the majority of the votes. How dare the majority of the people vote for someone that's not me, goddammit.
And that's exactly what's happening right now. So let me get this straight. We've been told over and over recently that the Republican Party is falling apart. Donald Trump is failing and flailing them.
It's the new meta. I'm telling you, the new meta is just Democrats just saying shit, throwing them at the wall, and the media regurgitating it and hoping it sticks. I made a video just the other day. Pay no attention to that. All right, just made a video. By the other day, I mean today. This is a video talking about someone who went up to talk about how an MS-13 gang member murdered her daughter, and she's shocked that the Democrats are supporting bringing those people back. This wasn't reported on CNN. There were literally CNN reporters in the room, and this wasn't reported in CNN. CNN just reports the shit that they want people to believe, and they don't even need evidence. They literally don't even need evidence. They just sit there and they're like, the Republicans are falling apart. Believe me, subscribe. Next news.
Movement is collapsing. It's over. For the MAGA movement, Gummy Bear 737 has turned on Donald Trump. Buyer's remorse is through the frickin' roof.
Dude, I absolutely love that. Who's that guy? There's this one left-wing commentator with possibly the worst takes of all time. Brian Tyler Cohen? Is that who I'm thinking of? Yo, Brian Tyler. I think this is the guy I'm thinking of. This is a left-wing guy. He's one of the biggest left-wing YouTubers, and his titles on his videos are awesome. They're incredible. Because I don't think any of them are true. Top attorney rips Trump. Okay, an attorney doesn't like Trump. Major midterm shakeup surges into spotlight. There was no real major shakeup. Secret weapon to defeat Trump surges into spotlight. There was no major secret weapon to defeat Trump. Governor Newsom drops surprise bad news on Trump. There was no bad news on Trump. No one likes Governor Newsom. He's cooked. Fed up judge goes scorched earth at Trump. This is a thumbnail from his old case before he was president. Like, you look at his videos, none of his videos happen in reality. He makes them up. Top Trump advisor issues chilling news on Trump live on air. No, he didn't. Elon Musk faces imminent firing. What do you mean imminent firing? He's working pro bono. China, Europe gives Trump the news he dreaded most. That literally didn't happen. All of Europe is trying to make deals with Trump. Like, the crazy thing is, these aren't just clickbait titles. nothing happens. None of the things he says in the titles of his YouTube videos actually happen. This guy has 4 million subs. Pandering. Dude. It's mind-boggling. It is mind-boggling. Like, the fact that this is largely leftist media. They just say shit. Like, it's almost like they're slop enjoyers like hearing Trump is dying of ligma. And they'll believe it because he said it and it's in a YouTube title. So we'll make a whole video about how Trump is dying of ligma balls.
I mean, that's been the headline everywhere you look.
Shout out to the Italian prime minister who just came into America to make a deal. Turns out Europe did not give Trump the news he dreaded most. Anyway.
From the nonsense Hakeem Jeffries is spewing, to the paid-for DNC propaganda that Harry Sisson posts every day, or at the Soros-funded Midas Touch YouTube account, where every day is the end of Donald Trump's career and administration. They want so badly to speak this into existence, but based on what we're seeing, it couldn't be further from the
Oh my God, Trump is falling apart. He received the news he dreaded least. Anyway, his approval rating is at an all-time high. Trump's approval rating is at an all-time high and the Democrats are at an all-time low. Trump received the news he dreaded the most. Yeah, sure.
Truth. Because while the left keeps shouting that Republicans are dysfunctional and falling apart, behind the scenes, that's them. They're the party that's literally ripping
They're fighting for terrorists.
Itself apart, running in two opposite directions, as they're actively splitting down the middle. Let's continue to reframe the narrative, shall we? We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape.
All right, I'm ready,
All right, folks, so speaking of dysfunction, it seems to be only a
My penis! Wow, that joke didn't land nearly as hard as I hoped it would. Anyway.
On one side, on the Democrat side, enter James Carville. Well, James Carville just went on the record calling for the Democrat Party to split away from the progressive base.
Yo! That's the Democratic Party. They got all biblical. They tied their legs to one horse and their arms to another, and then they got the horses to run in opposite directions. Hell yeah! Now this is a solution. We finally found a solution to the problem in the leftist side of the party. Kill half of them.
You got plenty different, the Justice Party, the Working Families Party, the Socialist Party. The only thing I'd ask is just don't use the word Democratic in any title that you have. Most Democrats that I know that are running for office don't want you to be part of the deal. Sure, they would be glad to take your votes. Who wouldn't? Everybody wants to get as many votes as they can.
True.
Maybe you come up with your own.
Unfortunately, they have all the pronouns and all the genders, but none of the swing states. It's a sad day.
And by the way, nothing against after the election, can sit down and do like is done in parliamentary governments or governments around the world. You sit down and you say, okay, we want to be part of a governing majority and we have these things that...
Turns out all the Latinos voted for Trump and the Latinxs voted for Kamala. What a sad day.
Want you to do to bring us in, and we have negotiations and we figure a way that we can live with different parties, different titles, but under the same general philosophical roof. As I've always said, been very clear.
Well, they are trying so hard to, every single person in the Democratic Party is trying to find a way to reorganize the Democratic Party because, they're fucked. They're gloriously fucked, like insanely fucked.
Most of the things that the faculty lounge or the density left wants, 85% of them, I want to. We'd like to expand opportunity for people. We'd like to expand people that have health care. We'd like to do more to help young voters. We think that environmental problems are totally crushing that we face. We want solutions there. We think income inequality is a terrible thing, and we've got to do certain things to address it, like, okay, we can raise taxes on incomes over $400,000 a year, raise the minimum wage. These are things that we can work on. I don't think we can work together on pronoun politics.
Oh my God, they're dropping the wokies! Bro, this dude came straight out of reliving his World War I days to tell us about how, it turns out we don't want to live in a political party that's going to spend all of our time arguing, yelling, and shrieking about the fucking gender politics. All right? Oh my God. The funny thing is, everyone always knew that the woke politics shit was garbage. Everyone always knew that, but they still felt like that was a way to push an agenda where they could find a way to make money off of it. Because the pharmaceutical companies, they make a fuck ton of money off woke ideologies. So they're all more than happy for that shit to be the face of the party, right? Stop fighting for the rights of workers. Stop fighting for whatever else Democrats, used to fight for. Let's fight for the oppressed people of multiple genders and multiple mental illnesses.
I think that this election did not teach you how damaging that is. I don't think there's anything that I can tell you. And you say this guy is stuck in another century. I can accept that. You're not really going to hurt my feelings. But maybe we can have an amicable split here. You go your way, and we go our way, and after the election...
And no one wins another election ever again. I love this idea. Wow. He really came up with a positive solution. So all we need to do is take all the Democratic candidates and split them in half so that the votes, instead of being 50-50, it will be a 50-25-25. I think this is a huge win. I think the Democrats should absolutely split into a three-party system. Absolutely. That would fucking go hard. Yeah, because I'm sure Wokenstein, the trans athlete, gender non-binary, blue-haired, nose-ringed individual, is definitely going to beat DJ Vance in the 2028 elections. Absolutely. That is going to go crazy. Hell yeah, I love this idea.
We come together and see how much common ground we can find.
And obviously we know exactly what that means, right? The classic Democrats, the old school Democrats, want a full-on break from AOC, Bernie Sanders. And
Bernie Sanders, AOC, they went off the deep end. They're just sitting there, they're fighting for terrorists, they're talking about wokeness, how Trump is rounding up transgenders, putting trans people in concentration camps, or whatever the fuck they argue that he's doing, even though he's literally not doing that. And the other Democrats, the classic Democrats, they're fighting a totally different game. They're making believe Trump is cutting Social Security, which he's not. It's just a choice. It is just a choice. Pick the hoaxes you want to support the most. Do you want the woke hoaxes, or as I like to call them, the wokes, or would you like the more classic liberal hoaxes, like how Trump is cutting Medicare and he's Hitler too?
Squad, the rest of these characters. In other words, the left-wing infighting seems to be reaching critical mass.
We're there. We are there. This is going to be a left-wing civil war, and the irony is, none of them have guns. Welcome to Tardland. The winner is me.
We've got the corporate globalist wing of the Democrat Party, and then the radical socialist wing, essentially fighting each other in public.
Yeah,
and now we've got Democrat strategists.
Two retards fighting every time.
Basically waving the white flag and saying we cannot coexist.
Love that.
Yeah, seems a little dysfunctional, doesn't it? And it's no surprise why this is happening. It's no surprise why these legacy Democrats are panicking.
No shit.
3 letters. AOC.
Yes! She is literally the downfall of the entire Democratic Party. Because on the one hand, people like her, and she is the front runner. But on the other hand, she is so extreme that there's no fucking way she's ever gonna get anywhere. She is the gold star for why the Democratic Party is in shambles. Right now, she is the most recognizable name there. Right now, it is most likely she is going to be the one running in 2028. And if she is, she will get absolutely curb stomped into oblivion. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Folks, the far left Democratic Socialist power play is in full effect and it is working. Just the other day, we covered polling showing that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is polling 20 points ahead of Chuck Schumer in the Senate race. We got CNN.
Well, yeah, Chuck Schumer is also insufferable. It's insane how they found a group of some of the most insufferable people ever. No populists, all corrupt politicians, hard school, old school, corrupt, fraudster politician people. See, Trump wasn't a politician. That's why he fucking won, because he wasn't a politician.
Recently in conversation, referring to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez as the possible president in 2028. And to make matters worse, she's now threatening that top spot against the Democrats' current mindless puppet, Kamala Harris.
Oh, look at this fucking... This is literally retards assemble. The nightmare blunt rotation of retards. Dude, look at this. The primary polls, Harris at 28%. AOC, Gavin Newsom, oh Lord. Oh my god. Dude, please, Democrats, find someone. I want to be entertained. This is a curb stomp. This is ridiculous, bro. This is like going up against an army of orcs with a single hobbit. What the fuck?
AOC is really catching up in the polls, now vying for that #1 spot in data on Democrat 2028 primary voting intentions.
How insane
the far
is
left
that?
Democratic Socialist power
Now, a lot of people don't realize this, but on the left, there's definitely there's an entire spectrum, okay? There's an entire spectrum of people on the left. There are people close to the center. They're the only ones who actually have a chance of winning, because realistically, most people are relatively center in America. So ultimately, you need someone that is kind of center and not extreme in any way. That said, all the center people are voting for Trump right now because Trump literally is the best for the center. The Democrat Party is the party, ironically, of the oligarchs, the rich people, the fraudsters, and the pieces of shit that puppeteered the last president around. So realistically, unironically, the one that's the most popular on the Democrat side is an extremist like AOC, and she has no chance of winning. That is the predicament they find themselves in. AOC is an extremist. She has no shot. However, among the Democrats, anyone that's going to be voting center is going to go straight to Trump. So only the extremists are left in the Democratic Party. That's why the Democrats right now only have an approval rating of 20%. Are we all on the same page? Are we recognizing the fucking atrocity hellhole that they put themselves in? It's glorious.
Play is working, and clearly they know this is a total disaster. And the proof is basically baked into this Bernie Sanders AOC oligarchy tour. I mean, I've been following some of these speeches, and it's just the worst, most Tumblr-esque anti-Trump hysteria.
It's anti-Trump. Trump is evil and a rapist and evil, and I hate him, and he's bad, and I'm a woman and strong, and I support women, unless they're beat up by husbands that are also terrorists, in which case we support the husbands.
Nonsense.
Donald Trump is a criminal.
Yeah, I told you.
Who was found guilty of 34 felony counts of fraud.
34.
Liable for sexual abuse. Of course he's lying and abusing and manipulating the stock market too. When he took
stock market too. Accent change mid-run, hell yeah. Anyway, I think we should audit AOC. Unironically, she was a bartender 5 years ago, and now she's worth $23 million. I think we should look into this shit.
talks about rapists and criminals, he should look in the mirror.
She's getting up on stage talking about Donald Trump being an adjudicated rapist, repeating the same tired talking points from the E. Jean Carroll case that nobody with more than 2 brain cells believes. And let's get the record straight. Donald Trump was found liable for defamation in a sexual assault case with no witnesses, no evidence, and no date. It's a complete scam. One of the worst.
It was one of the most unbelievable political, honestly, like borderline political assassinations I've ever seen. Like, they weaponized the entire government against Trump, and it was rejected by the American people. And she's out there repeating the fucking media machine talking points like it's actually gonna work.
Verdicts in American judicial history. It's an embarrassment. But it's what AOC and her ilk are leading with, repeating it like it's the key to the castle of political victory. Absolutely idiotic. No wonder legacy Democrats are losing their minds. They've learned literally nothing, as it seems the Democrat base prefers candidates who just keep yelling Trump bad.
I'm just saying, it's not too late for Trump to pull out his ace card, his trump card, some would even say. Now, I've come up with this strategy a while ago. I've put this through. I've reached out to my sources, all my Jewish connections. Candace Owens put me in touch with the Jews controlling the media, and I was telling them that Donald Trump must, and I repeat, must, identify as a trans woman in 2028. Hear me out. If he identifies as a trans woman in 2028, either the Democrats will have to accept that Donald Trump is the first female president of the United States, or deny his preferred pronouns. I feel like this is an infinite victory campaign. This would be a complete colossal victory, and there is no way to come back from that. I think if Trump needs to go a little bit harder, I activate my Trump card. Donald Trump, first female president. What are you gonna say? What are you gonna say? Suck my giant female cock, you fucking bitches. I just saying he'll have all the cards, all the genders. He who controls the genders controls America. I'm just saying, it would be crazy.
Trump literally Hitler, Trump adjudicated rapist. babies instead of, I don't know, developing an actual popular policy platform. It's so ridiculous. As if this stuff's gonna work. It already hasn't. This is the exact sort of thing.
It's the same fucking playbook again, because she's just targeting the extremists. I think AOC might be one of the most naive politicians of all time. She literally thinks she could just see whatever's viral on social media and be like, holy shit, this tweet has 100,000 likes. I'm going to incorporate that shit in my speech tomorrow. That's literally how she's running her entire campaign.
That got them at 21% approval in the first place. This is the stuff they ran with in the previous election, where they lost the popular vote.
How?
Meanwhile, Donald Trump's sitting at a 54% approval rating.
All-time high approval rating. Donald Trump, they love him. They do. They love him so much.
Yeah, I guess so much for Donald Trump is falling apart. He's now matching his record high, according to the latest jail partners data. But of course, the Democrats are saying jail partners. What kind of insignificant, unknown, untrustworthy polling firm is that? The jail partners actually did really well at polling the 2024 election. They were spot on. But of course, the left wants to ignore that data coming out of jail partners as they continue to rely on the morning consult and the latest issues numbers that they just released, essentially showing Democrats winning on almost every single issue, even the economy. I mean, make it make sense. Somehow Trump...
Again, I told you this is literally the strategy that they use. They just say shit and hope people believes it. They're like, listen, guys, we are better for the economy than Donald Trump, even though we are the ones that tanked the economy and Trump ironically did not. And then everyone is going to be like, yes, they did do that actually. I am an NPC retard. My programming has been updated to completely agree with everything you're saying. Hell yes, this gaslighting is working flawlessly.
Trump's at 54% approval. Democrats are sitting at 21 as a party, but they're winning on every issue. Yeah, it's completely laughable. Just like everything else from
ironically, I think the Democrats, they've been, again, I said this in the past, but I think the Democrats have been in control for so long with like their stranglehold on the entire culture that they completely forgot how to actually fight for the people. And they're just floundering around, flapping their arms, and they're like, illegal immigrants should be returned to the country to rape more people.
Morning consult, or as Red Eagle Politics calls them, the morning compost. Now, I'd say the Democrats are living in some ridiculous fantasy land where they seem to be projecting all of their problems on the other side. The simple fact is, the truth is, the Republican Party seems to be stronger than ever. Meanwhile, the Democrat Party is being eaten alive by the Frankenstein monster.
And the funniest thing is, they're eating each other. They're not even saving anything for me. This is like self-cannibalism, and it's so sad. I hunger. I want to fight. I want some chaos, some drama. All I'm getting are massive, colossal, crashing downfalls. Every time AOC opens her mouth, it's a new 9/11 for the Democrats.
That they created, otherwise known as the Democrat Socialist wing of the party. They abolish ICE and abolish the police crowd. The socialist TikTok, Twitch influencers. That's the Reddit moderators.
I'm telling you, the AOC sees a tweet with a lot of likes and is like, holy fucking shit, this is my new entire personality.
And obviously, James Carville knows it. They're essentially pointing the finger at Donald Trump, who's navigating a massive seaworthy vessel. Meanwhile, they're standing on some floating debris in the middle of the ocean. Talk about pathetic projection. Yeah. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on.
Yeah, so that was the liberal hive mind on the recent AOC downfall. I love it so much. The AOC downfalls make me so happy. And what's actually going on in America, in New York, her area, she is a New York congresswoman, by the way. So Cash Jordan made a video actually going into the subways that were invaded by New York City migrant gangs, causing the police to flee the subways. The police are not in control of New York. The migrants are. See, this is what happens when you literally sit there and twiddle your thumbs and say defund the police, police bad. And then you support like fucking violent criminals and shit. Like, that's what happens. It destroys you.
Crime is down in the transit system, but there is one... Crime is down in the transit system, but there is one crime category that is still up, and that is the category of felony assault. And the victims are not only riders, but the police officers sent underground.
Police officers are getting beaten up, bro. Police officers are getting assaulted, beaten up, and fleeing in the New York subways. And AOC is like, holy shit, we gotta bring in more illegal immigrants. Blue cities.
As our leaders try and reassure.
By the way, I was just in I went to the fucking Social Security office in New York because goddamn they got like my they lost my card, so I had to get a new card. Whatever. It's a whole deal. It's a whole thing. I told you I'm moving to America. It's over. It's over. 51st state. I don't want to be there anymore. We're moving out of gay Dakota. We're moving to America. Anyway, so I was in the Social Security office. I'm in the elevator going to the Social Security like waiting room, hell room as I like to call it, and the entire time there was one guy in the elevator like, oh man, Donald Trump, he's the president now, they fired all the workers, we're gonna be waiting forever, it's gonna be awful, I fucking hate this shit sucks, I can't believe it, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, they're firing everyone, no one's working anymore. Anyway, we open the door, we walk into the room, like the big waiting room, and the guy's like, all right, there's no line, you're next. Oh, what a glorious day! What a fun time! Interesting how that happened. Anyway, that was a story of something that happened fairly recently. So I just felt like I should share my experience in the great blue yonder.
Assure us that the subway is getting safer. It's actually getting more dangerous.
So you're telling me that when the Democrats said "Great news, subway is safer," there was a little asterisk. Because it was not getting safer, and they just lied, and more people are getting assaulted. All right, classic, nice. Love that. Hell yeah. Democrat, W, we always take those. AOC, cooking every time. I love how much he cares about New York City.
For police, who are now being targeted at greater rates than we've seen in a long time.
That's fucked up. Police are great, okay? Obviously, there's going to be bad apples in every group. There are some police that are assholes. There are going to be some Jews that are assholes. There are going to be some Muslims that are assholes, all right? Some white people, some black people. That's how it works everywhere, all right? Some people, just assholes. But police are fucking awesome, and you should appreciate police officers. And every time I see a police officer, I make sure to tell him that I hope he has a nice day. I always say hi. That is fucking awful. YouTube clips full of cop hate, and I am gonna be the lone blue retard on the internet that says that stop being a piece of shit.
And if the police are in trouble down here, pretty soon we're all gonna have big problems.
System.
Dude, if you assault a cop, throw him in the slammer. I don't understand why this is like acceptable in any way. I don't know how AOC thinks that her district would be better if they protect the people that are assaulting the police officers. This is so bad on a myriad of levels. Not only is it basically giving them a green light to go assault more people, but for the love of God, it is insanity.
Need more places for people with mental illness to be able to live in and take their medicine and things like that, because we need more help with people with mental illness here.
Absolutely. That's why I don't take it after 9 p.m.
Suspects in both those recent high-profile cases were promptly arrested, thanks in part to an already heavy police presence in the subway system and an extensive network of MTA cameras.
Insane.
It's these types of crimes riders say worry them the most.
You see how I'm, like, positioned here so I won't get pushed off the train?
But officer...
What? That's a calculation that people make? Oh my lord.
Most.
You see how I'm, like, positioned here so I won't get pushed off the train?
Imagine going to a subway and needing to have that calculation. Oh my fucking god. And then, Nux people have been pushed. I know! It's just shocking to see this as in like a developed society. New fear unlocked, I guess. Brother. And then AOC be like, nah, we gotta go to El Salvador to bring the fucking rapists back. Oh my god.
But off
150% increase on assaults on police officers. That's fucked up. So uncivilized.
With 700 blades being seized on the train so far this year, it makes you wonder just how safe we really are down here. Because what nobody in charge of this place will admit is that all of this points to a subway system that isn't getting safer, but is rather teetering on the edge.
I wonder why. It can't be because the people in charge of New York actually decide to release criminals early if they are specifically illegal in the country. That probably has nothing to do with it. It probably won't get more people to be comfortable committing crimes. Anyway, what's that? All that they yell? Oh, they want to ban guns though. That's important. We should ban guns. Guns are the problem. Anyway, bring in more illegal immigrants.
of collapse. And before we get into what's causing this and why it's only getting worse, we better do it quickly, because if you look around at all the rust and decay down here, it very well could be that this entire place collapses before the end of this video. It's incredibly old, which doesn't make any sense, because not only is this America's most dangerous public transit system, it's also the most expensive.
Yeah, your taxpayer dollars are going to fucking protecting illegal people in the country instead of fixing the fucking subway system that illegal people are stabbing cops on. This is fucking piles upon piles of retardation.
And it doesn't help that the subway is also the full-time residence of some 4,000 individuals the city has left to fend for themselves, many of whom are sadly dealing with mental health issues.
First of all, unbelievably tragic that there are 4,000 people in subways living there. But, like, come on, guys. New York, clean up your shit. Oh, my lord.
But also happen to be armed, making them a danger to themselves and possibly others. And when you add to that an agitated base of perpetual criminals roaming the subway, looking to assault and rob others, there's a level of lawlessness down here that won't disappear even with more police than ever on patrol. And that brings us to the real reason police are now being targeted. They're getting up every day, putting on their uniforms to protect the general public from people who probably shouldn't be down here at all.
True. Hot take, if you're illegally in the country, then you are a criminal already. You already should be deported. I know that obviously we should be going for violent criminals primarily, but if you are illegal in the country, get the fuck out of the country. You have an opportunity to leave, or you will be made to leave. I don't know, man. I guess AOC did the math, and apparently getting illegal people to vote for you is better than protecting the legal residents of your area. Dude, fuck, man. These people lost the plot.
Because not only do our laws mandate most of the people police arrest be released without bail,
there we go. That's it, baby. They're illegal immigrants. Don't arrest the criminals that are stabbing people. Think about what that would do to racism. We've solved racism with this one, guys. Hell yeah. Because when people see people stabbing other people and not getting imprisoned, that is just a good step in the right direction of racial equality. Hell yeah.
Also,
match and release time.
Mandate that anyone who needs long-term mental health intervention be involuntarily committed, but only for a mere 72 hours in most cases, putting our police in an impossible no-win situation, constantly dealing with the same people, even though these are folks who oftentimes have a frightening track record of unpredictable behavior. And sadly, as you're about to see, if the police aren't safe down here, nobody is.
True. And it becomes anarchy and chaos. This is unreal. Yeah, AOC is actually demented. The fact that this shit is going on under her nose, and she's just so busy fighting for that one MS-13 terrorist in El Salvador, like, it just goes to show that she lost the plot. She is out there for the Twitter headlines and absolutely nothing else. It is insane.
So we've been hearing for a long time about how the subway is safer than it's ever been. But
thank you, Democrats. Very cool. Yeah, NYC subway, she dip in crime. She's NYPD being patrolling crime. Yeah, definitely.
That's just because police have been putting themselves between us and the criminals down here, which reveals something very troubling. The danger down here still exists. It's everywhere. It's all around us. It's just being drawn to the officers who are down here to protect us. Dude. And that's turned this place
that is so sad
into a ticking time bomb.
Assaults on New York cops now patrolling subways in larger numbers are up by 152% over the last 5-year period. Attacks are also up on transit workers. The MTA claims.
So when a normal person sees police down here in the subway, we feel safer. We don't think anybody would be stupid enough to try anything with them around. But
I mean, I'll be real here. I love when there are police around. I always, maybe I'm speaking from a place of privilege, even though I think that the current Anthony Carmelo case, the case of the black kid that stabbed a white dude and is currently out on bail with like $500,000 of donations, that dude successfully ended white privilege forever. It doesn't exist anymore. I'm sorry. You can argue in my comments. You can call me a racist. White privilege has ended. We are in a new era now. This is called retard privilege. Yep. Sorry. White privilege is over. We've reached the end. Thank you so much for joining my TED Talk. But anyway, I love when there are cops around. I love when there are armed people around in general, because it makes me feel like, you know, if some shit happens, someone's gonna be there to actually help. I don't know, it's wild. Maybe, although I am coming from the perspective of someone that has spent time in Israel, and like when you see people with firearms, you think it's less likely that there will be like a terrorist attack. So I'll be real, maybe that's the perspective I'm coming from, but I don't know. I'm more comfortable when that shit happens.
As it turns out, that's not the case at all. Cops are out here making arrests, stepping up patrols, actually trying to clean up the subway, but criminals are fighting back. And apparently this has been a trend since 2022, when assaults against police suddenly jumped. And today, 1 in 3 felony assaults is against a police officer. And you've got to wonder, if somebody's willing to assault a police officer, what chance do you or I have if we encounter that person?
And the funniest thing is, even when you actually do defend yourself and you actually take down the guy that is attacking you, like we just saw happen a couple of months ago, they will still come after you. Black Lives Matter or whatever will still fight for the rights of the person that you were literally enacting self-defense against. Someone in my chat just said, as a black guy, I agree. Black guys at my job always talk about if we do something wrong and someone stops us just to hate crime so dumb. It's just, I think it's a lot of indoctrination. I think, especially the media, likes to force people into boxes. The media likes constantly saying, if you are a black person, you are not safe. The police are coming to kill you. And it's fear-mongering, and it works on a lot of people, realistically. Like, I don't even... Dude, I feel bad. I feel bad for people that just go around nodding their heads and believe what the media tells them to believe.
Not much, and look at this. Although the city insists crime down here is decreasing, there is one particular crime that just won't disappear, and that would be the crime of assault. Assaults are 55% higher today.
Dude, how do you unironically, this is fucking retarded. How on earth does the New York Post make a big thing? Great news, guys, crime is down, except for assaults, which are up 55%. Aside from that, everything's down. That's the main one. Yeah, there's less theft because there are police. However, there's more assault because they beat up police. Dude, retard Olympics, for real.
Day than they were in 2019. And although I'm not sure what other crimes the city is including in its statistics to bring down the overall number...
Probably petty theft. My guess is there's less petty theft because there are more police around, so people don't want to, like, steal somebody's iPhone while they're on the train. Or yoink something out of their bag when they're taking a nap on the subway. That's probably what's decreasing because there's more police. But what's increasing is assault because there's more people to assault the police.
Assaults are a crime that most people riding the subway are really alarmed about, and riders are now 50% more likely to have a problem with an assault than they were just a few years ago. And if the crime...
It's wild. Look, I thank God I've never been mugged. Both my parents have been mugged in the New York subway system more than once each, okay? That's fucking crazy, dude. That's insane. My dad was mugged on a date. All right? Like, dude, it is fucking wild.
That really put people in danger are up. Is it safer down here, even if the overall level of crime is down? No, it's not any safer down here. In fact, as we're learning, it's possible for overall crime to go down while the levels of danger down here go up. Just ask the police, who are now the victims of a crime wave they're supposed to stop.
Yeah, I think absolutely we need to stand together with our brothers in blue, bro. We gotta. They are enforcing justice. If there would be no police and there would be no laws and there would be no justice, we would fall into anarchy. There would be way more assaults, way more attacks, way more theft, and it's actually really sad. It is really, really sad.
Arrests are 100% up, especially people being stopped for fare evasion, honestly. And some of those people who apparently got used to the idea that fare evasion was a God-given right, then haul off cops.
So that's the head of the MTA, and he's shocked.
So arrests are up because people were fucking stealing from the system. I love that.
The police are now being targeted, but there's a problem.
I wonder why the Democrats say defund the police when this shit is happening and not actually, you know, protect the police officers that are getting assaulted by largely illegal immigrants in the subway systems. Like, what is even happening?
With this outrage, because when subway crime affects you or I or any customer of the MTA, he says it's all in their head. But I'm thankful he's not telling the police that the crime they're experiencing is in their heads. Now, obviously, the head of the MTA's in a tough spot. It's an election year in New York City, and he's got to play nice with everybody, both riders and politicians, which has got to be like jumping through hoops of fire every time the news cameras are pointed at you. But he brings up a very frightening statistic. All these assaults on police are taking place when they go about combating a problem progressives say isn't a big deal.
Dude, they're just filming here, watching people jump over the... It's like, it really is. It looks like it's their God-given right.
And that would be fare evasion, something that costs the city $800 million a year when people go through turnstiles like this without paying. Or these right here, which were actually introduced to decrease fare evasion because the thought was they'd be so easy to use, nobody would jump. If you're wondering, this is one of those expensive pilot programs the city spends its money on instead of hiring more police to keep us safe down.
You've got to be fucking kidding me. They really thought that they were gonna put little exit doors with the little beeper thing, and that's it. That was the, oh my fucking God, dude.
Here. But we're constantly told by progressives that fare evasion's not a big deal. In fact, these are the same people who believe that all public transit should just be free. But studies show that
I absolutely hate the fucking entitled mentality. Yeah, I would also love if all public transit was free. But guess what, fucknuts? It's not free. It's not free, and some people are paying for it. Those some people are me, okay? They're not free, you fucking communists. Win the election next time. Elect the fucking communist douchebag president. Right now, there isn't a communist in the office. Thank God. So, right now, it is not free. Air is free. That's why Jews have big noses. But that's it, bro. If something costs something, then you are a criminal if you fucking break the law. I don't know why this is complicated. It's the obvious shit in the universe.
That oftentimes folks who've evaded the fare then go on to commit a much more egregious crime once they're inside the subway. And now we hear from the head of the MTA himself that folks evading the fare are also the ones engaging in combat with law enforcement.
Coincidentally, the criminals that jump over the turnstiles are also the criminals that commit the assaults. Wow, crazy how that happens.
When they get busted, revealing that a lot of what goes on down here is not only not victimless, the victims of those crimes just so happen to be whoever the criminal first encounters.
In 1997, there were 17 felonies a day. Last year, just 6. But officers are under orders to enforce so-called quality of life offenses, like fare beating. And as they do, they're often confronted by the unstable people who are menacing riders. Felony assault.
So here we go again with the news telling us that major crimes are down, but you've also got this perpetual mass of people who aren't afraid of anybody or anything, and assaults are simultaneously up. And a big component of this nobody's talking about are how overall levels of lawless behavior down here are skyrocketing. You've got people sleeping, lounging about on platforms, engaging in disruptive behavior for no reason, and the city just lets all of that go. And although criminal,
it's so sad that I feel bad for these people, but simultaneously mercy is not going to be helpful to the people that are getting assaulted. I don't know, man. I feel like this is insane. Like, there are laws for a reason. Laws should be kept and upheld, and that's it. And if you break the law, you should get punished to the extent of the law. I know that it's cringe to say that shit, but realistically, I don't know. I feel like that shit should happen. Mercy to the wicked is cruelty to the innocent. And again, I feel bad that people are in a position in their life where they need to be there, but my empathy for them is not greater than my empathy for the people that are getting assaulted on these fucking trains. Like, this is insanity.
Sympathizers don't want to admit it. Rampant disorder just attracts more criminals and more lawless behavior, not less. In fact, since we're now...
Especially when they get off without a punishment. Especially when there's catch and release programs. Dude, catch and release programs are basically waving a green flag at fucking criminals to commit crimes.
Punishing less.
This is the ideal utopia according to AOC. AOC utopia. Everyone will come to the subways and they will all fucking fuck each other and push each other into trains and beat up cops. The true ideal. I mean, she's even fighting to bring these people into the country illegally. That's what she's fighting for.
Crime than ever before, we're creating an army of entitled criminals. And we shouldn't be surprised when they lash out at the authorities the one rare instance where they do get confronted about doing something that they shouldn't be doing. And this is going to wear out and demoralize our officers. They can't put up with being the brunt of a crime wave forever. And once they're gone, that crime wave is just going to go back to targeting people like you and me.
33% of the felony assaults, the victims are police officers. 7% of the victims are transit workers. And MTA officials said today that many of those arrested are repeat offenders, some with multiple arrests in the same year.
Isn't that crazy?
You've got to be kidding me. You have some guy that was arrested multiple times within 1 year for violent crimes. They just fucking put him back in the subway. This is like catching a rat in your bedroom and then deciding to let him go in your kitchen. What is even going on? This is insanity. And this is AOC Utopia. Yup. This is good. You're cooking, AOC. Hell yeah, you've saved New York with this one.
You see, as a police officer in this city, it's your job today to arrest the same person you arrested yesterday for the same thing they
beating you up. Imagine you're a police officer, all right? You do your job diligently. You go down into the subway. Some guy beats the shit out of you. They're not even a legal member of the country. They're illegally in the country. They beat you up. You call for backup. They get this guy arrested. You go down to the subway on another routine day, and the same fucking retard attacks you again. Could you even imagine that shit? This is crazy. And AOC is fighting the oligarchy. This is great. Let's bring in more illegal immigrants. Yes.
did yesterday. And although most proponents of law and order disagree with progressives who say criminals will learn lessons.
I think progressives are retards, honestly. Whenever I hear like progressives fighting for empathy, I really think they're idiots. Like they're complete idiots. It's like, how dare Israel defend itself against Hamas terrorists? What? They're going to do it again. They say they're going to do it again. They commit terrorist attacks, and they say they want to commit more terrorist attacks. You being merciful for terrorists is fucking retarded. It's like, it's unbelievable. And it's like this with every single conversation you have with these people. Suicidal empathy. Yes, let's bring in the rapist immigrants into the country. Bring them in. Absolutely, they will be a positive member. Diversity is our greatest strength, after all. Yes, yes. In Iraq, you can legally get married to 9-year-old girls. I'm sure that won't impact our culture if we just bring 300,000 people from Iraq into the country without vetting them. Absolutely. We should be good to everyone. All right.
From this constant arrest and release cycle. The criminals who make it down here are learning lessons, all right. They're learning how to interact with police and evade them. And the limits of their power to arrest and detain someone, which is not what we want. We don't want criminals learning how to evade law enforcement and get better at breaking.
Bro, this is like actual Darwinism. Darwinism is in full play here. It's a game of cops and robbers where the robbers get better and better and better at being robbers. This is insanity. I really feel like the world is like swallowed by these suicidally empathetic retards.
The law, but that's what happens.
New York is a PvP server for real, and they just keep respawning because they will catch and release, and they'll get better and better at this shit.
Since they never seem to wind up in jail for what they do. And the other problem contributing to a sense of lawlessness down here is the fact that New York City's laws handicap those tasked with assisting the mentally ill from actually caring for them. Many individuals down here are in need of long-term treatment, but in many cases our laws mandate people be discharged from facilities before anything's been accomplished. Sometimes after just a few days, which leads to the same people.
I'm sure AOC had a lot to say about this on her Fighting Oligarchy tour. I mean, she is a congresswoman of this area in New York. I'm sure she had lots to say. Oh no, she only talked about how Trump is evil? Yeah, that tracks.
Coming back down here to do the same things and engage in the same behavior, contributing to that overall level of lawlessness that we all experience the moment we enter this place. But luckily for people who ride the trains and use the subway in a law-abiding fashion, there is now an ultimate authority figure taking an interest in what's going on down here. And that authority figure would be the federal government, who's now going to step in and force New York City to make some changes down here.
All right, well, we'll see what happens.
So the reason so much crime takes place down in the subway is because for years, it's never been anybody's fault that things have been this way. Nobody...
The oligarchy, it's the oligarchy. The oligarchy are the bad guys. It's the oligarchy.
Yeah, let's fight against the bad orange bad. Yeah.
He's ever been held accountable, but that's about to change because
yeah.
New York City now has to share its crime data with the federal government, who...
Oh my God, unfathomably based. Dude, what the fuck is happening that the Democrats are the parties of violence? How did this happen? They're out there fucking destroying Teslas, not prosecuting these people. Judges are trying to stop Trump from deporting terrorists. You got crimes happening all over the place. Catch and release. How did this happen?
gives it money to run the subway. And the federal government's made it clear that if they don't see evidence New York City is taking steps to make things better and safer underground, they might not be footing the bill much longer, which could result in the MTA that runs the subway having less money to experiment with different types of evasion-resistant gates, or less money in general to make repairs and even run the subway.
I mean, look, you gotta know how this shit is operating. For some reason, it's only now that the feds got access to the data for some crazy reason.
The Trump administration threatening to cut billions of dollars in federal funding to the MTA over subway crime. The letter from the Department of Transportation did not include a specific amount that could be cut, but said consequences could include redirecting or withholding.
So the city losing its ability to just waste money on...
It's the troll-oligarchy! The troll-oligarchy found another way to kill random people. Hell yeah, troll-oligarchy, you're so based. Good job, troll-oligarchy.
Nux Society is best society. If you're not subscribed to Nux Society, yep.
What is a black hole of financial investment that could actually be a good thing. Now, the federal government hasn't said how much money the city's subway could lose or what they'll end up doing with it. For example, they've mentioned that funding could be redirected and, say, used for only purposes of law enforcement and safety, which would force the people...
Dude, law enforcement and safety is such basic necessity shit. It is mind-boggling to me that the Democrats don't feel like this is important to talk about. You have Joe Biden just gave a speech. I just covered this. He came out of his fucking crypt. All right, the fucking necromancers got him out there to give a speech talking about how Trump is slashing Social Security. By the way, that's a hoax. That's not true. He's not slashing Social Security. Bro comes out there, he sits there, and he's talking about how they're slashing Social Security. It's a danger to the people. This is a literal physical danger to the people. What are we even talking about? Well, we know the answer. The answer is AOC wants to win. And it's all about, this is how I started this entire video. It is all about the fucking optics, and it's about the manipulating, and it's about the gaslighting, and that is exactly what they're doing the entire time. They are gaslighting people into thinking that the Republican Party is in disarray. They are gaslighting people into thinking that for some reason the oligarchy is evil. That is their gaslighting strategy. They will never bring up crime statistics in blue cities. Literally never. I have never heard a Democratic politician ever mention crime stats. Literally ever, unless it's specifically school shootings with no qualifications, and it is mind-blowing.
People running the subway to find their own money to make desperately needed repairs, instead of installing bizarre benches like this at stations where many people in the past have been found sleeping. Why else would they build something like this, which you can't even sit down on?
Imagine, oh my god, that's insane.
Have been found sleeping. Why else?
Dude, this is some medieval shit. They're replacing benches with these fucking dildos so people can't sleep on them.
Would they build something like this, which you can't even sit down on?
Children are such fucking retards, and they go to college where retards teach them to become even more retarded. Dude, I am so all for defunding these fucking college campuses. Bro.
Unless it was your mission to waste money on things that don't actually help people who don't have a place to stay. But the most unbelievable aspect of this is, even though everybody knows the subway is not in a good place right now, our leaders
Welcome to the news, baby. Everyone knows the subway's not safe. Everyone knows that people are scared to ride the subway. Everyone knows. But guess what? The New York Times posts that crime is down in the New York subway, and people are believing it. But then again, they also said that Kamala Harris was going to be winning the election in a landslide, and I don't know if they've looked at what's going on.
They're still out there defending it, even though assaults are up 55% in general and up over 150% on police.
I feel like the kid who gets called on the teacher when you actually done your homework. We have done so much to improve subway safety.
MTA Chair Jano Lieber is seeming to adopt a what me worry attitude about the latest round of threats from the Trump administration. Transportation Secretary.
So I think I'm starting to feel bad for the head of the MTA. Earlier, he just told us how shocked he was that police were now in trouble, but he's also out there telling us he's done everything so much to make it safer down here that your head will...
Except he's not actually keeping people in jail. He's done everything to make this place safer, except for actually keep the criminals in prison.
Spin. And I don't want to give him a hard time, but if you went to school and you spent a long time on your homework, but it's all wrong, the effort you've spent doesn't offset the F that gets stamped on your paper. In fact, the only recent safety initiative we could point to is the deployment of more police down here, and now assaults against police are up, so it's not really working.
It's obviously not working. New York Times, congratulations, subway crime is down. Also New York Times, Biden is as sharp as ever in his newest speech. Kamala is leading with a 47-point gap in the fucking polls.
On top of that, service is absolutely atrocious. You've got systemic delays pretty much all the time now, making it pretty hard for people to actually see the results of the $20 billion a year this place gets. On the bright side, officers are doing a great job removing blades from the subway system. And oftentimes they say the people they find with weapons come in through the emergency gates, jump over the turnstiles, and they say that by failing to enforce those types of violations, potentially dangerous individuals are allowed to roam free in the subway.
Well, they're doing this shit in broad daylight. It's insane.
We're now learning arresting people over and over again for the exact same types of crimes is just a band-aid solution at best for a long-term crime problem that's just getting worse.
I'm not concerned. We have actually the lowest number of daily crimes in the subway system than we have ever had in recorded history.
Huge W. Now mention the increase of 55% assaults against police officers.
In the first part of this year.
A spokesman for Governor Hochul said her first priority is public safety, which is why she surged more than 1,000.
It is I, Governor Holocaust, reporting for duty.
So it's hard to blame our leaders for having viewpoints like this. After all, we've got mayoral elections this year and a governor's election.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Just because you're having an election coming up, it does not give you the excuse to lie to your constituents about what's actually happening in reality. That is a fucking retarded way of thinking.
Next year, they're just trying to look and sound their best.
Oh, yeah, no, I completely justify them lying to their people. After all, they are trying to propagandize them into voting. Wow. Say that again, just a little slower.
But nobody's out there going after our laws, which have created all of the problems taking place down here. After all, a system that just arrests people over and over again and doesn't put them in jail only trains those people to avoid arrest in the future. And a system that allows repeat offenders unlimited chances to come back to the scene of the crime will never right itself automatically. On top of that, all the recent decreases in crime our leaders point to could actually be fake. And let me tell you something, when you're down here trying to use the subway, it certainly feels like they're fake. And look, I'm not defending the officer who got caught doing this, but he's probably under a lot of pressure to come up with numbers that make it look like those that are in charge of him.
Yep, that is literally the move every time. These people are put into positions where they're like, well, I've crunched the numbers, and it turns out that specifically crimes have dropped by people with their last name starting with the letter H. It's crazy how that happened. No more H crimes going on in the subway. It's safer for everyone.
Are doing a good job down here. And if you're a cop right now, you're in a lose-lose situation. The people running this city don't want there to be actual solutions.
Nah, dude, the people running the city hate you. The people running the city actively hate you, and yet you still stand up and fight for people. You are so based, cops. Hell yes. You should take pride in the shit that you do, even when there are assholes in the government like AOC that are gonna fucking make fun of you all the time and release the people you capture back into the public. Do your job, do it with dignity, and maybe don't use excessive force and shit. To the couple of you guys out there that are definitely assholes, but for the love of God, dude, stop.
Because there never have been any. And they greatly dislike the president who's coming to the table now, forcing them to fix the crime problems in America's
It is crazy that you got fucking police like teched out in the fucking subway.
Largest and most dangerous public transit system. And here you are as a cop, you're on the side of law and order, while those who tell you what to do may not necessarily be. What do you think our police are gonna do? Are they ever gonna be able to stop crime down here without meaningful changes to our laws? And now that the federal
Nope. They won't. the crime will not change unless something systemic happens in the legal system. I think that the country is in an interesting spot that, and a lot of people are going to wake up to the retardation that's been going on for the last while. And it's my job to spread the retards to the world. That's right. I am an altruistic retard detector. Subscribe for more altruism.
Government is threatening to take money away from New York City. Could we finally see changes that make the subway a safer place for everyone down here, including those who really need help and just aren't getting it? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching.
Yeah, hell yeah. That was a good video by Cash Jordan. Of course, I'll link him in the description. But, yeah, no, ultimately, I think the reason why I find this all very funny, and I wanted to point this out, the fact that there are armed gangs invading the New York City subway and assaulting police officers, is straight up unironically because AOC is the front runner in the presidential election right now. She is likely going to be the Democratic candidate in 2028. She is fighting against oligarchy at every turn. She is fighting to bring illegal immigrants into the country. But this is what her own fucking pig pen looks like in her own backyard. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Subscribe for more retards. AOC 140% fucked on her new Fight Oligarchy tour. Lock in for future AOC content next time she's retarded. It'll probably happen soon. I just remind you all, she is so dumb. She is the reason why we need directions on a shampoo bottle. Stay weird, fam. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.